Okay, all right. Apologize for the other video that didn't have any sound. I just checked this one. It should have sound. Just got to get a good um, angle here. All right, so we're going to do a high intensity interval training session with minimal equipment and minimal involvement with the timer. And what we're looking at is the format of this is 5 exercises for 15 minutes. I'll give you reps on those, and you're trying to get through those 5 exercises in as many rounds as you can in 15 minutes. If you get to the end of 15 minutes and you have like 2 exercises left and you've done it like 3 3/5 time, then note that, and then the next time you come to it, try to beat that duration reference in exercises. So you'd go like 3 4/5 to get that other exercise in. Rest 1 minute, and then you've got another 5 exercises that you want to go through as many times as possible. And the reps will be noted, and in 15 minutes as well. So I've got a 15-minute timer and 2 sets of 5 exercises. So the format of this is, we'll get to these exercises. Most of these, because you want minimal equipment, are body weight, and I feel pretty good about, going over the finer points on these through video, because I really don't feel like you're going to get yourself into a bad situation. If I think that you will, I'll make sure that I say what the error can be, and I will tell you everything you can to combat that error. So first one is mountain climbers, and you want to try to do 20 each for a total of 40. The big negative here is that you can separate those shoulders, so just squeeze them together. And another thing is, just come up as far as the hips from this push-up position, and you're like this for 20 each, or a total of 40. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and so on until you get to 40. That's 20 a side. That's a general conditioning exercise. A lot of abdominal and a lot of shoulder stability. I have that Quasimodo back, so to negate that, just bring the shoulder blades together. That's why you don't want that protraction. Try to keep it retracted back there. 40 total, and then we're looking at 20 each side rows. This is our back exercise, and you're going here, shortstop position, and squeeze that shoulder blade toward the spine. 20, and then 20 here, and no rotation through the trunk there. Once you've gone through 20, we're knocking out 20 touchdown squats. Now, the kettlebell, if you don't have a weight that will allow you to do 20, 15 is fine, or grab a band, do a standing cable row, 20 a side. Next up is our touchdown squats. Palms forward, and really that's just to keep your trunk upright. And even though you don't really need to do a perfectly upright trunk when you're doing a normal goblet squat, this is kind of helping you access those hip rotators. So you're like this. So necessarily it'll get slower at the bottom. Keep the knees out over the big and second toe, and then you're hopping back, feet together, knocking out 20. No real big error you can do there. Let's see. So, you'll try to sit back on the heel at that point right there. So that's going to kind of keep you back and also involve those hip rotators. Knock out 20 jump squats if you're not really keen on that one. Like I say, it's not overly involved, but if we haven't done it and you're not comfortable with it, jump squats are totally fine. Knock out 20. Inchworm or sit-outs up next, and that's that quadruped position again. And you're touching opposite arm or touching opposite foot to hand, so it looks like this. $20 total there, 10 each side. If you have trouble hitting the knee or hitting the foot, hit the knee like this. don't have to hit that foot, hit the knee. Okay, and then inchworms. 10 here. This differs from the other in that you're just knocking out 10. Walk out on the hands into a push-up position, establish, and then you're back up. And that's 1. Knock out 10 of those. Go through those again. Go through that circuit of 5, back to mountain climbers at 20 each. You'll go through those 5 in as many rounds as possible in 15 minutes. Once 15 minutes are up, rest 1 minute, and then get to this other circuit of 5. See how many rounds you can get in 15 minutes with these, starting with broad jumps. 20 total here. Swing the arms and land soft. Absorb that impact. It's a good way to cut to the chase about not getting yourself in any kind of situation where you might harm yourself. And really, that's just landing abruptly and not absorbing that impact. You want to absorb that impact into like a soft knee. Try to land soft. You don't want anybody hearing it. Do your best ninja impression. From 20 broad jumps, we're looking at plank, side to side plank, planks with rotation. That can be a push-up position. Just make sure that when you go to the side position, that the heels of the feet touch the ground. Two, 3, you're knocking out 20. Heels of the feet touch the ground. Well, kind of hard angle here with this camera. And then jumping jack squats. You'll like this one. 20 of these. See if I can't get a wider view. So you're going to do a jumping jack, but instead of just standing upright, when the hands go over, you go down. Go down. Make sure you touch your heels. You might be prone to going on the balls of the feet. But when you spread out to that wider stance, rest back on those heels. $20 total there. And then we are crossover push-ups. So this is a chest and oblique move. And at 20 total, I would err on the side of going from a modified knee position. Because what you're going to do is have an imaginary line extended from where your midline would be. And you're going to have both hands starting on one side of it. And then you're going to cross this outside hand first, and then that other one. Actually, come up to the middle one with the one offset, and then the other one goes out. 2, 3, 4. So, why would you do a lesser intense version of an exercise if it's a high intensity interval training session? Because the high intensity is just referencing the time spent. You know, you're going to be hitting a wall at some point in this routine. That's why I say it doesn't matter if you start off with the more advanced version. If you went with a push-up from the toes, you're eventually going to hit a wall. And that's when you would go to the knees, because you don't want to sacrifice form, and you're going to hit a wall during these high intensity interval training sessions. So I would go ahead and just say modified knee position, because by the time you get to this second circuit, even though you haven't done chest, like I say, you could go from, it's minimal, man. It's negligible. But I wanted to throw in this crab walk at the end of this second 5 exercise circuit. And it's just like a bridge where you're here, but you're walking 20 yards. You'd walk continuously 20 yards Once you got done, you would go back up to your broad jumps. Now, that's a pretty foolproof format. You go through those 5 again and as many rounds as you could in 15 minutes. And what I like to do is if I know I'm not going to get through them on like the last round, I choose the 2 hardest ones and try to get better at it. But hopefully with sound, you have a little bit more of a frame of reference here. And I want to try to get back to you as soon as I can if something's going wrong, because I really didn't check this out. I'll check the audio on this one, but this should be pretty good. And don't want you to have a lot of downtime. So I'm going to be checking my email fairly regularly. All right, Chris, I'll talk to you soon.